be exploring using power trades, but with the harmonic scanner, right? So whenever the power trade is called, jump across to the harmonic scanner and check to see whether there is, and we're looking at the 1 hour chart, right? The power trade was called on the 1 hour chart here. So we're looking at the harmonic scanner at the 1 hour chart as well. And we're seeing here that EJ was called, right? H1 a bat pattern. So that's what we're looking at here right now on the harmonic scanner. So the power trade just giving you a heads up that, hey, something is going to happen. Now, let me plot where the power trade was called on the harmonic scanner here itself. Right, so 124.6. I want to give it a, all right, I'll give it that color so that you could see 124.6, and it was called at 7:20 in the morning. So we're gonna plot it at I think this harmonic scanner is 2 hours ahead of my normal time. So instead of 7:20, it'll be 9:20. I'll just go down to 15-minute time frame here. Does that work? Okay, probably doesn't. All right, but it's somewhere around here. Okay. So great. So one thing that you notice here is if the power trade was called at that price and you jumped across the harmonic scanner, you would have known that, hey, this trade isn't quite ready yet to take off in the buy direction, right? It's giving you a heads up that something is happening. The power trade was called right at this intersection here, but you look at this harmonic scan, you see where your entries are, and you could tell yourself, hold on a minute, this power trade isn't ready to take off yet. You know, there is a better entry somewhere a bit further down. And then whenever we look at our harmonic scanner, we have to look at previous price structure as well. So just down here, right, just over here, we could see that we have price in this area. So if I go to, let me just go to my trading view chart. All right, I'll go to my trading view chart and I'll bring up Euro JPY. So let's plot it there. Okay. All right, the reason I wanted to come on this trading view chart is I'll be able to see support and resistance levels a bit clearer in the past as well. Okay. So if you're looking at support and resistance levels, you know I like to plot quarter point levels. So if we just plot a quarter point level here, right, the nearest quarter point is 124.250. I want to change that to a light blue color. Okay, hit OK. So none of this happened yet. Put in my quarter points as well. A bit further up, 124.50. 1.5. Okay, next minor quarter point, next one up, 124.75. Great. So if we plot this harmonic scan on just trading view, okay, I'll pick my ABCDs. All right, so this is my A, sorry, my X to A to B to C, and then D was formed a bit down, further down. Cool, cool. So this is our harmonic pattern. Give it the same color as the harmonic scanner itself. And remember, none of this happened yet. Let's plot the price that this thing was called at again. 124.6. 124.60, and it was called at 7:15, 7:20, around that time, vertical, right? 7:15 in the morning. So right at that candle right there, right at that candle right there, that's where we're seeing. Okay, so great. So look what's happening here now. We see a plot. We have a harmonics pattern forming, and when we look at our harmonic pattern, we see entry prices a bit further down. Now, when we're looking at harmonic scans and harmonic patterns, we still need to look at market structure. We need to understand where our support and resistances are, okay, so that we'll be able to get decent entries into the market. Now, I always like to use quarter point levels as specific price levels for my support and resistance levels. So right here, we could see that we had a support, right? Double top or a double tap, double bottom, and then it took off to the top. But if we go back into the past, right, that price was acting as support and resistance as well. Okay, we could see in the past here. We can go back to a bigger time frame, the 1 hour time frame. That price of 124.25 right here was support, support, resistance, resistance, support. All right, we had some ranging at that price, support here as well. So for those who like to mark their zones off, you could just mark off a nice rectangular, all right, rectangular zone, and that is your zone. And that should be your zone of target when you're considering potentially taking this harmonic scan pattern, right? So you could see how far the trade was called, but the harmonic pattern still had some maturing to do. Price still needed to find some sort of support area before it showed any signs or wanted to show any signs of reversing. And then one thing you could see here is that when we start getting down into this price level, look at what we see here. Boom, price wicks down exactly to the pip at this price, 124.25 to the pip, wick, and gives you more or less a hammer, doji, when I call it that, and that is your alarm for hold on a minute. This thing is ready to reverse, right? It's hit your area of support. Okay. Another thing, if you want to have another added confirmation, we could go to our RSI right here. You could look at it on this harmonic scanner if you want to, or you could look at it on this RSI right here. This RSI is basically the TDI, but it has the RSI and some other stuff there. But you could also see diversions happen, right? Price is giving you a lower low right there. Okay, price is giving you a lower low. Indicator has given you a higher low right there, and we're bouncing off of support and resistance levels, this price structure, off of this quarter point level right here. So right there, you should be saying, right, boom, that is, or that should be my entry. Now, because we had this wick down and wake up, now some people would have entered the market right here. Okay, that's okay. So you're waiting for those who are waiting for confirmations. There's some people who would have decided, all right, I've marked my zone off. I want to put a buy limit down there at that price, because you've got a specific price here, quarter point price. Price always seems to find its way to a quarter point price before it reverses. Um, so you could have a early entry up there, or decided to have an entry at your quarter point level, and your stop loss is usually, I'm putting another quarter point level down. Okay, so the next quarter point level down is 124.0. Okay, and you want to put your stop loss about 5 pips below your next quarter point down. Boom, right there. So for those who would have entered at this quarter point level, that's a 30 pip stop loss. And you can see price respected that quarter point and gave you a nice, how many pips move is that on 50, 50, 60, about 55 pips or so on Friday eventually, right? It did take basically all day to do it, because these are our hourly candles, right? So this was 7 o'clock in the morning, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. So this is when the New York session started. In the UK, 1 o'clock. When the New York session started, that's when the reversal actually happened. So the whole of London session, nothing, even though the trade was called early London session. But you just got to be very, very patient with your trades and wait for it to unfold. And doing it this way allows you to enter the trade faster or at a better price than if you wait for a trend line to be broken and something to be closed above trend line, and then you take the trade, and then, right? The next thing is you want to just go to take profit, just go to TP1, right? Just go to TP1 and call it a day. No need to be greedy. Just be happy with your TP1. Or if you have taken multiple trades, right? If you have taken multiple trades from the beginning, you could take multiple trades, and then move when your take profit is hit, you move your stop loss into profit. All right. So the TP1 is hit, move your stop loss into profit right here. Boom. And then let your trade ride. You could have another take profit target at TP2 if you want to. But for the most part, make sure that you pay yourself, take some profits off of the table, and go. Right, so that was a lot of talking. Any questions at all? And then we could look at another similar one. Quarter points, quarter points. I'm new. Can you explain quarter points? All right. If you want to see quarter points, you go to your recorded videos right here and go to the 30th of October 2018, and there you will see a video on quarter points. Okay. Any other questions? And we could look at another trade and see whether that was on Harmonic scanner as well. GU, GU analysis. Yeah. Now GU was on the Harmonic scanner, but it's changed to a different harmonic. But we could check that out. When the power trade was called, it was definitely on the Harmonic scanner for a buy. Right? So we could check out GU. I'm gonna leave the RSI in there. Now let's plot where GU was called for a buy. Right? GU was called for a buy at 127 1.27923. 1.27923, and it was called at the time, it was 10:11 in the night. Now that in itself, and that was what, on the 14th, right? On the 14th. Right there. Okay. Right around there. Now, if a trade like that is called at that time, I know that the market is closed, the market isn't moving. Okay. Right? Look at what the volume is saying here. Nothing. All of that is just the Asian session. Range, 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 range. Nothing at all. All right. So I really don't expect the market to go anywhere. So I'm not looking to jump into that trade at that particular time, anyways. Okay. Now I know GU was on the harmonic scanner for a buy, but I believe it's turned around for a sell position. However, we could still look at it and analyze in terms of price structure. Okay, so again, look at what is happening here. So it was on the harmonic scanner. We're looking at GU, looking at the price structure, and we're looking at where price is. Here is resistance, resistance, resistance. All right, resistance, support there, support there, support here. So again, we're in a zone. We are in a zone that price could show some signs of reversal for sure. And again, what I like to do is look at price, right? I'm looking at my price and where is my quarter point in relation to this zone, all right? Right? I always want to know what is the nearest quarter point to my zone. And my quarter point in this case would be the 2800 mark. Okay, that's my quarter point. So just a little further up. So that is where I would be looking to make my entry. Right? That's where I'd be looking to make my entry at that point. Now, in this scenario, the price had already broken trend line here. All right, so by that time, I'm waiting for the London session to happen. By the way, right? I'm waiting for the London session to open. The price was just shimmying around at this support level. I will take the trade. All right, I will take the trade at that price 12800, and that allows you to get in at a really good price. In fact, we did win this trade because this is one that we discussed on Friday. All right, and it eventually pushed up for over 90 pips. Right, eventually pushed up for over 90 pips. Again, stop loss would be your next quarter point down. Right, so you're risking literally 30 pips on your trades. Right, so 12775. That's your next quarter point down, and then add another 5 pips onto that for your stop loss. So it'll be 12770. Okay, that's your stop loss. Entry price right here. Your take profit targets. Again, what you could do is simply go to a next support and resistance level. Okay, next support and resistance level in the market. So we're looking to see where our support and resistances are. Um, so we have a long wick here, but we have one right at, and remember, keep looking at price, right? Keep looking at price. There's a price here of 1.2900. That's a quarter point level. Okay, boom. That could be a take profit target right there. Now, albeit that is quite high up, could we could say, hey, we could go for a first take profit target of a 1-to-1. So say for example it goes 30 pips into profit, then you could take some profits off of the table there, right? If you have more than one entry, and then move your stop loss up into profit. All right, move your stop loss up into profit when that 30 pips have been hit, and then let it ride on to your next take profit target, which could be at this 1.2900 level. Okay, so it allows you, these quarter points allows you to place your stop losses, place your take profit targets, and also gives you decent entries into the market as well. Cool. Any questions? Welcome, welcome, welcome. M Blackmore, welcome. We could look at another. I think there was AUD JPY as well that was called on the power trades, and we're simply just using the harmonic scanner to help us as well. Any questions at all? If not, we'll just jump across to AUD JPY. So another power trade was called AUD JPY was called for a buy. So let's check that out on the 60-minute time frame as well. And literally, all you need is two of these power trades per day, and you're good. You are good. Let me just go back to Euro JPY and just check the RSI and see if we had diversions. Sorry, not Euro JPY. GBP USD. All right, it wasn't very pronounced on GBP USD, so that's fine. Doesn't always happen. All right, AUD JPY. All right, so I'm leaving the RSI there and take everything else off. And if we go back to AUD JPY again on the harmonic scanner, right, we could see that AUD JPY was actually called as well for a buy, right? Called it a shark pattern. Okay, so let's plot that shark pattern and see what's going on there. AUD JPY called for a buy. Nice thing is that you could actually plot these in the analyzer itself. So that's pretty cool. So where's my X, A, B, C, D? All right. X, A, B, C, and D. Okay. So that's my harmonic pattern. Let's plot where the trade itself was called. All right, so we have 78.296. As soon as you see that price, you know you're very close to a quarter point, right? 78.296. Let's see what's cracking on there. Okay, and it was called at the time of 7:20 in the morning on the 14th. Was it 14th or the 15th? Right, on the 15th, 7:20. So just around here. Let me just go down to smaller time frame, even the 5-minute time frame. Right there. Okay, call for a buy right there. Now by that time it was called for a buy, this harmonic pattern had already started playing out. Now, 17. Yeah. So this harmonic pattern had already started going in the direction. Okay. Let's see price structure again. Let's look at price structure, see if we could identify any support and resistance levels, right? Before we get too much in a frenzy. And okay, so right here, okay, right there, that's a support and resistance level. All right, we're seeing a lot of resistance there, a lot of resistance here, some support there as well. And then price found its way down and already found support there and already started taking off in the buy direction, right? When this trade was called. So I mean, in a scenario like that, then you would have probably taken the trade when it was called. Okay, right, and your support and resistance level is right below, again, right below your zone's 30 pip stop loss, right? So you would have experienced a little bit of drawdown, but eventually, again, this took off and went for 60 pips of profit. And again, you could simply say, all right, I just want to go to TP1, for example. Okay, so TP1 was at 78.525, right? 78.525. Cool. That would have given you 20 something pips. So always better to go for at least a 1-to-1 ratio. So if your risk is 30 pips, go for 30 pips. All right, go for 30 pips minimum when your first take profit target is hit, depending on how many trades that you've put in. Then again, move your stop loss into profit and let it keep going, right? And you can see eventually it went for 60 pips or so. Right. So that is the basics of taking profits. Now there's an advanced way of taking profits. Let me find out if you have any more questions as well. Welcome, 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 Nova Scotia. You could PM me on Facebook or on our Telegram channel, right? Telegram. If you're not in a Telegram group, this is a one pair Telegram group. Literally just copy this entire link. Don't click on it. It wouldn't work. Copy and paste everything, and then you'll be able to get into the Telegram group. So I literally just showed you 3 examples of the power trades with using the harmonic scanner as your guide. And again, if we go back to the 1 hour time frame, okay, we could see here on this harmonic pattern and on this harmonic scan, there is divergence as well. Okay, there is divergence. All right, price is more or less giving us a flat double bottom, but indicator here is giving us a higher low right there, and is already in an overbought, or sorry, oversold, extended bullish. That's what I prefer to call it, extended bullish area. So we have that divergence in that area, so we're expecting a rise, and that's exactly what happened, right? So all these things coming together, the power trades, the harmonic scanner, the diversions, even quarter point levels as well, to get your good entry into the market. So there's nothing really stopping us from getting into these power trades at a very decent price. instead of having to wait for um, trend line to break. I must say though that the trend line break and close above is a safer entry. So if you less risk averse, you want to have a safer entry, then that's a good entry to have. You could wait for your trend line to break, wait for your candle to close above, and then you enter. Right? So price will definitely be moving in your direction um, most of the time. If you want an earlier entry to get a better risk to reward ratio, then you could start looking at quarter point levels and prices and that sort of thing for your entries. Okay? Any questions? Um, Aussie JPY for a sell? No, 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 no. We were just discussing the buy setup that happened on Friday. Right? We were discussing the buy setup that happened on Friday. No time to be, no point to be selling right now. It's not called on a power trade. It's not giving us any sort of sell signal on the harmonic scanner. So no point assuming that we're going to be selling now. Okay? We want to have several points of confluence just to make sure that we are A-OK. We're not entering the market willy-nilly. All right? So if you have no questions, that is it for this evening session. We're going to be continuing looking at more power trades and in conjunction with the harmonic scanner, in conjunction with quarter points and quarter point theory, in conjunction with the RSI and looking at diversions there, that's what we're going to be looking at for the power trades. Okay? Euro USD sell, is that called as a power trade? Euro USD sell, is that called as a power trade? No. So we wouldn't look at that. All right, we wouldn't look at that. Right, we're looking at high probability trade setups. No guessing, no wondering what's going on. The analyzer is giving you here, and when the analyzer gives you, you just do a little final fine tuning to get your entry points correct, and boom, you're away. Okay? All you're just trying to do is multiply your money in the most sensible way that you can. And for me, I think this is a very sensible way. My account grew by over 50% last week just taking power trades. Okay? Past profits do not guarantee future profits. All right. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Eastern. I want to congratulate our very, very dedicated Kimberly. Kimberly caught over 600 pips last week, scalping, right? Using a different strategy that we teach here for scalping, using currency strength analysis. But way to go, Kimberly, on 600 pips. Kimberly works 12-hour days with breaks in between of 1/2 an hour break and 3 10 minutes break. So she literally only has an hour to trade and she's done it. So what's our excuses like? Crazy. Yes, sir. 50% growth in 1 week just using power trades. Keep it nice and simple. Right? So, everyone, have a wonderful evening. And we shall see each other tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Eastern.